Something terrible happens, a diagnosis, an accident, a loss no one saw coming, and almost on cue, someone leans in and says it. Well, God must have had a reason. They mean well, but for the person in the storm, those words can land like a second blow, because hidden inside them is a quiet, terrible idea that God is the one who did this. So let me ask you the question this book dares to ask. What if he didn't? There's one story in the Bible people reach for more than any other to settle this. The story of Job, a good man who loses nearly everything. What about Job, we say? See, God allows suffering even for the faithful. It's the verse we use to make peace with the worst moments of our lives. But a book called Facing God says we've been reading that story almost exactly backwards, by Daphne Delay from Harrison House, now in a 10th anniversary expanded edition. For 10 years it's been helping people face this very question. Its promise in one line, the storm may be brutal, but God is not your enemy. And here's the move that makes the whole book work. Before it ever answers, what about Job? It stops and asks two better questions first. What about God? And what about human nature? Because how you read Job depends entirely on what you already believe about God's character and about your own heart. Get those two wrong and you'll misread everything that happens to him. She says there are two ditches on either side of the road. One is unworthiness, living under constant guilt, certain you've always fallen short. The other is subtler and more dangerous, self-righteousness, the quiet, unspoken assumption that you've made your own heart clean. This book is about how that ditch blinds good people. Then she takes us into the story itself and asks the question we skip right past. In those first chapters, who actually strikes Job? Read it slowly. The raiders, the fire, the wind, the sickness, they come from an accuser asking permission to destroy. The fingerprints on that storm are not the Father's. That's the correction at the heart of the book. There's a real difference, a crucial one, between a God who permits a fallen world to do its worst and a God who authors the evil himself. One destroys, the other restores. We've blurred those two into one, and it has left people believing their loving Father personally arranged their worst day. The book gently, carefully takes that lie apart. From there, she walks straight through the book of Job, chapter by chapter. The friends arrive, the famous comforters, and deliver long, certain religious speeches about why this must be Job's fault. She names those chapters for what they are, the deception and the ugly emotions it stirs up. The men who sounded the most spiritual were the most wrong. She gives their error its real name, a kind of spiritual insanity, a double-mindedness that assumes suffering is always punishment. It still lives quietly in a lot of churches. And then, near the end, the Lord finally speaks, out of a whirlwind. Notice what he does not give Job, a tidy explanation. He gives him something better. He gives him himself. Sometimes the answer to our suffering isn't information, it's a person. Now I want to slow down and be very gentle here, because some of you are in the storm right now. This book's sharpest warning is against doing what the friends did, handing a hurting person a neat little answer. If that's you, please hear it. Your grief is real, it is not a punishment, and you don't have to carry it alone. Reach out to someone you trust. And second, the hope the whole book rests on, God did not send your storm, and he is the one who restores. Underneath all of it is the truth she most wants you to find. You cannot earn your way into God's approval, and you don't have to. The whole trap of self-righteousness is trying to stand on your own performance. The freedom is resting in the righteousness Jesus already purchased for you. She closes with the question we all eventually ask, is God in control of everything? And her answer is careful. Sovereign does not mean he causes it all. We live in a world handed for a time to an enemy who destroys, but that enemy's power is temporary, and it has never once outmatched the power of God. Because here's how Job actually ends, not in ruin, in restoration, given back and then some. The accuser gets the middle of the story, God gets the end of it. And this 10th anniversary edition is built to be worked through, not just read. It comes with a full study workbook, chapter by chapter, a natural fit for a small group, a Sunday class, or your own quiet mornings with a pen in hand. At Nori Media Group, here's who we think this book is for. Anyone who has ever stood in the wreckage of a hard season and quietly wondered if God was behind it. Facing God hands that person back a true picture of their Father, just pure, full of mercy. Not the author of the storm, but the one who walks into it to restore. That's a book worth putting in someone's hands. Facing God, the 10th Anniversary Expanded Edition by Daphne Delay from Harrison House. You'll find it in our store at Faith and Flame, stocked and ready to ship, with the exact link right below this video. Pick up a copy for yourself or for someone walking through a hard season. And if that someone is you, reach out today. You don't have to face it alone. Then subscribe to Nori Media Group and we'll keep facing the hard questions together. The accuser gets the middle of the story, God gets the end. Find the book at the link below.